Deuteronomy 16 explains how Israel is to celebrate three major festivals once they enter the land. Each one is designed to remind them of God's provision, rescue, and faithfulness, and to help them worship with joy and gratitude. So I'm going to separate this chapter into one, two, three, one, two, three, four, five different parts, which the last one is the conclusion, themes and lessons, right? So let's start with the first chapter of this beautiful chapter, Passover, verses 1 to 8. Observe the month of Abib and celebrate the Passover of the Lord your God. Okay? It remembers God's rescue from Egypt. Eat roasted lamb or goat, unleavened bread, no yeast for 7 days, no work for the seventh day, right? You must celebrate it at the place God chooses, centralized worship, not eat the sacrifice at home anymore, unlikely earlier practice in Egypt. Lesson: Passover is about remembering redemption. Freedom came by God's hand, not our effort. Second part of this chapter, Feast of Weeks, Pentecost, verses 9 to 12. Count of 7 weeks and then celebrates the Feast of Weeks. Happens 7 weeks after Passover, also called Shavuot or Pentecost. Celebrate with a free will offering based on how much God has blessed you. Rejoicing with everyone, family, servants, Levites, foreigners, orphans, and widows. Lessons. This festival celebrates God's provision, harvest. It's about generosity and community inclusion. The third part of this chapter covers the Feast of Tabernacle, booths, verses 13 to 17. Celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days. Happens after the harvest is gathered. Israel was to live in tents, booths, to remember their time in the wilderness. Involves 7 days of joy and rejoicing before the Lord. Every male must appear before the Lord 3 times a year at these festivals: Passover, weeks, and tabernacles. No one should appear before the Lord empty handed. Lesson: Rejoicing in God's presence is not optional, it's a commanded rhythm of worship and gratitude. Okay, the next part of this chapter is justice and leadership, verses 18 to 22. Moses transitions from festivals to appointing judges and leaders, appointing honest, just judges. Appoint honest, just judges in every town. Do not pervert justice with bribes or partiality. Follow justice and only justice, so you may live long in the land. Do not set up Asherah poles or sacred stones. God hates idolatrous worship. God hates idolatrous worship. Lesson: A holy people must not only celebrate well, they must govern with fairness and integrity. Let's check the themes and lessons from Deuteronomy 16. The first is worship has a rhythm. God's people are to regularly pause, remember, and rejoice. Second lesson: never forget your redemption. Passover teaches that freedom was a gift, not earned. Third lesson: gratitude flows from provision. The harvest festivals teach us to give as we're being given. Fourth lesson: include everyone in celebration. God's festivals are for all people, not just the privileged, okay? So, fifth lesson: joy and justice go together. A rejoicing nation must also be a just nation. Deuteronomy 16 teaches that celebration and justice are sacred duties. God wants his people to remember his goodness, rejoice publicly, and rule fairly, because he is a God of both joy and righteousness, okay? Subscribe to this channel, drop a comment, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.